Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It is November the 25th and we're looking at Ezekiel chapter 29. So this time the word of the Lord comes to Ezekiel regarding Egypt. The prophecy is specifically against the king and also his kingdom. God holds the ultimate authority in the kingdom and over the king to specify responsibility. The king has such a crucial role that often, if he's a good king, then the country will follow him. But if he is a bad king, then the country will go to pot. And this is why Paul says that we should pray for kings and those in authority. In Pharaoh's case, the Lord sets his face against him. It seems that the Lord is not just addressing the human king, but the demon that is behind him. And of course the demon, the Romans always referred to the demon of Egypt as the crocodile. God will judge Egypt according to how they deal with Israel. This is often thought of as describing a time at the beginning of the Messianic kingdom in which no man will live in Egypt for 40 years. However, it seems that this actually is referring to the time of Nebuchadnezzar. And yet at the end of 40 years the Lord will gather them again, and it will be forever a small kingdom that will never rule the nations of the earth again. Now, Egypt was one of those first empires, but it's not an empire today and will never be an empire like that again. Ezekiel has another prophecy in which he foretells that Nebuchadnezzar will invade Tyrus and he will invade Egypt. And then Ezekiel has another prophecy telling him to howl because the day of the Lord is near. Egypt, Libya, Lydia and Ethiopia will be destroyed in war. They will be destroyed by fire. Again, another prophecy regarding Egypt. The Lord will break the arm of Pharaoh and none will bind it up so that it will be healed. The Egyptians will be scattered and live among all the nations for 40 years, and in this way Egypt will learn that Jehovah is the God of heaven. Now, there are people that suggest that the Gypsies, whose name means the Egyptians, are those people that were scattered by the Lord. That's a possibility. However, I don't think that's true, because the Lord, after 40 years, brings them back to the land of Egypt. Of course, it could be that some of them remained away after all that time. Now, there's so much that could be said about a passage like this, but I want us to think for a moment about chapter 29, verse 11. This is my password for today. I have two little verses as a password, three perhaps. It says, "No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited 40 years. That's in verse 11. That is quite an incredible prophecy, because the Lord judges Israel so thoroughly and so completely and universally that the land is completely deserted for 40 years. And that is quite an astounding thing. And then we see in verse 13 and 14 it says, Yet thus saith the Lord God, at the end of 40 years will I gather the Egyptians from the people whither they were scattered, and I will bring again the captivity of Egypt, and will cause them return into the land of Pathros, unto the land of their habitation, and they shall be there a base kingdom." Now, even in recent times, it's been said that Egypt is a base kingdom. It's a place that nobody particularly likes. There are some beautiful spots, but nobody particularly likes the land of Egypt. And there's been lots of archaeology recently to show how vast Egypt was in its ancient history. But of course it is an absolute shadow of its former self. So that just goes to show what God can do to a nation when he brings his judgments upon them. Well, God bless you. It's great to speak to you, and look forward to catching up with you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye for now.